Today we'll revisit a topic I covered a few years ago, and yes, I will explain the implications of your choices on how the game plays itself out. Finally, yes, some setups that you can use in your saves to make your saves a lot more realistic, giving you new gens that come out looking like this, developed by the AI, looking sweet. So please be aware of the consequences of your decisions in the game. And yes, everything that I say now can be applied to every version of Football Manager that has ever come out. A lot of what I'm going to say in today's video doesn't come originally from me. It comes from Daveincid and many others on the SI forums, including Mark Overmars, who contributed to a thread about how you can set up your database in an optimal fashion so that you can get a realistic transfer market and fantastic development of players across, human and AI controlled teams. I am also interested in your experiences, so let me know in the comments below how you've set up your saves and what they feel like. I plan this video to be short and sharp. I'm not going to run any major simulations that can take up time, but these are the important things that you need to understand. I'm not going to go into too much detail about unloaded, loaded nations, playable, view-only leagues. I'm just going to cover them really quickly. When you set up the save for the first time, you're going to have an option of setting it up with playable leagues or view-only leagues, or playable view-only. That there are three options. Now, it's very important to understand what it means when a nation is playable. It means that there's going to be a league schedule, there's going to be a league table, full squads, existing staff, realistic transfer activity. Some games will be simulated with the full match engine, and there's going to be an increase of injuries. Now, this is important to remember. There are going to be two match engines that simulate results, the full match engine and the quick match engine. How the database responds to the full match engine and the quick match engine is significant. Over the years, there have been quite a few differences between the way players develop. They develop poorly with the quick match engine. They develop well with the full match engine. And over the years, SI has worked very hard to try to make those numbers look the same. However, they've never been the same. There is going to be a difference. Any league that is set to playable has got all the competitions set to full detail. Now that will use the full match engine. More calculations mean better transfer activity. You get all the results, and players develop really nicely because I don't know, it's just the way the calculations work. And then in the leagues that are view only or competitions that have no detail for, or even nations that are not loaded, now these are going to use the quick match engine, which uses fewer calculations. And yes, sometimes those players, they don't turn into the darlings that you hope for. Here are several setups that you can use in your save. So this could be a simple save, England and Scotland, if I'm running a toaster and I'm going like, this is the best I can manage on my toaster. You can set this up to advanced. Now what you can do here is you can go into all nations, or you can basically go continents, add Africa, set current international players, and then you can go down and add, say, Asia, current international players. Do the same for every continent. The reason why we're doing this is because what we do next is we go to the competitions themselves and set the detail level up for the competitions to give us a more realistic save. And this is very important, the detail level, because the detail level sets up these simulations, right? So if you want to see some English clubs send their players out on loan, if there are no like feeder leagues to go to, there's absolutely nothing that's going to happen, right? Those players are going to just stay where they are and, slowly improve, I guess. You don't know how they're going to improve. So what I really suggest is, if you plan on an Argentina save, then if you want to look at leagues, neighboring leagues that should be playable, set the detail level up for them. So this is what we do here for this little save. So what about setting up your detail level? It's going to be important as far as youth development is concerned. The first thing we do, go to international, set up your competitions to all. You can do this, then pick and choose the ones that you want to track. Maybe I'm not interested in the under 23s. The qualifiers, we don't need the qualifiers. You just want the main competition itself. So the Asian Cup, and then we'll take the under 20 Asian Cup again. Might not be interested in some of the other smaller competitions here. So you go through this and you pick and choose the competitions that you want to track. Now here, then again, England and Scotland, we only have two playable nations, right? So the England youth players, they need to go somewhere for loans. Check this out. This is the default in your games. It's set under 18s for, there's no detail level. Now, I will recommend that you set up the detail level. So there's all these matches are simulated with the full match engine instead of the quick match engine. So we're going to make sure that these two are using the full match engine, so that the simulations are better, the results are going to be better now. And the same thing goes to Scotland as well. Now Scotland, we can simulate all. Again, here we might not want the reserve cups. We might not want the youth. We might not want this, but we can have the reserve competitions. We can have the youth cup actually. All right, so this could be one setup for you. What about this? Estimated game speed. Now, this is something you should not be worried about because it really shows a lot of rigs to be doing this. What I recommend is timing it yourself. How long does it take you to holiday for a week, and use that as a gauge. Then, of course, here the Continental Club competitions again is all really up to you. Here you want to simulate those that are relevant to your save. Like for me, I would not do this. I would just Copa Libertadores and then South America. Now, once again, there are competitions. It just makes it a bit more interesting. What if you have a decent rig? By decent, I mean you don't have a toaster. Okay, so you can come in here once again, go to advanced setup, do the same thing again. Maybe this time, what would be good would be 10 playable leagues. So 10 playable nations. So now we go in Italy, France, Germany. We'll add in England. Loading the top 10, we'll have Argentina, Brazil, Uruguay. And then we'll have Spain, Portugal. That will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We'll add one more nation in here, and Holland. Okay, so we got a decent mix of nations here. Now, maybe in this particular case, you might be thinking, yeah, I want to add some more leagues. If you want to go and add one more, two more leagues, you can. But once again, it depends on your rig. But here, let's do something different here. What we can do is we can set these two leagues as playable, these two leagues as view only. Right? Now, view only just means that there's one-for-one replacement in there. Personally, I don't recommend it, but I know some people do this. Is it bad? It's not the end of the world. It just means that the ones below are going to be using the quick match engine. Whenever I see this, there's no real point in doing this. I rather make them all playable. So playable is what I recommend. Of course, there are going to be people who want to do different things. Now, as long as these are playable, you've got this set up nicely. If you're playing in England, then you definitely want it to be up to 2. Then you want at least the top 2 in most of the leagues. Any league that you think might be a venue or a good league for youth players to go to. Now, I recommend setting it to at least a championship level or Division 2 here. Portugal is set the same. So we basically loaded the top 2 leagues from everywhere except for our home nation, which has got 4 leagues. Then again, you come into the custom database advanced. Now, if you set it up once, you don't have to do this again. So you got current international players. You can leave it alone. Our approximate player count is 86,000. I, for a fact, know that 86,000 is the common rig. Right? This is okay. This is going to be a good save even for some laptops. Then you go to start the game. Once you started the game, go to detail level. Once again, set up the competitions accordingly. Now, we've got all these nations. Now, what we want to make sure is all these nations, the detail level has been set for each nation's competition so that the results use the full match engine instead of the quick match engine. We do not want any of these leagues to have the word none beside them. When it comes to detail level, it's entirely up to you. Like personally, I wouldn't have every single international competition, especially under 23 competitions. If you're playing in England, it'll be all competitive matches. Then I'll go, okay, maybe for the Community Shield, the EFL Trophy, we'll do the main stages. For the Premier League, Under 18s Cup, we'll do the whole thing. The Youth Alliance Cup with the main stages. The Youth Cup as well, main stages. Here, main stages. Under 21s, all. Under 18s, all. So we set this up accordingly for England. Then for France, again, we'll come in here all, but here again, we don't want to do everything. So I'm just going to have none for this. Coupe de France, main stages. National, this is the league itself, so we'll have a none for this tier. And under 19s, we'll do all. Germany will go in again. Bundesliga, we'll do the Copal, only the main stages, the Super Cup, all. The Junior Cup and the under 19s will do all for these two. Or rather, here we'll just do main stages. And then Bundesliga, we want all competitive matches, all competitive matches. So for Holland as well, maybe I just want Eredivisie and the under 18s competition. I don't need all of them. Norway again, I just need the top competition and the under 19 so that we can, there is a place for under 19s to go to. Portugal, maybe this is a really important league. and I'll just do it like this. Under 19s, all competitions. And Scotland, again, we'll just do the top one and the under 18s. So you don't have to make everyone the same. It's really up to you. Now, what if I set Uruguay to none? Now, this is important, especially for data-driven saves. Now, if you set it to none and you've got no detail level, when you run up the stats might not be accurate, or you might not even get stats at all for some of these leagues. So what's the point of doing a data-driven save, adding a nation like Uruguay, and not having any detail level set? It sounds kind of strange. There are many ways to set up the Football Manager save. Today's video's goal was very simple. Why do some youth players develop really well? Why are your scouts not finding players? A lot of the time, this has got to do with the way the database is set up. Now, I hope today's video helped clear things up, and I hope you have a fantastic time playing Football Manager. Once again, there's no right setup or wrong setup. It's a setup you like. And I hope you found today's video useful. Once again, you guys stay safe, take care of yourselves. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.